There is no excuse for the disgusting things that Hugh Jackman says in this interview, where he is outright defending this total creep who works in Hollywood, who is part of the Hollywood system. And we know that Hollywood is full of these types of people, but it is always terrible whenever you see someone like Hugh Jackman who's just outright defending the awful things that they have done. Hollywood star Hugh Jackman has spoken publicly about his X-Men director Bryan Singer, addressing the filmmaker's alleged bullying antics on movie sets while skirting the teen grooming accusations that have dogged Singer for years. There's no excuse for this. There should be no way that you can just get away with not calling this out if it is brought before you. If someone asks you a question about it, you shouldn't just be, oh, well, it's complex. In a recent interview with The Guardian, Hugh Jackman avoided directly talking about the allegations against Singer, saying the issue is complicated and complex. You know, that's a really, really complicated question, he told the newspaper when asked how the accusations have affected how he sees the X-Men movies, which rocketed him to fame in the States. There's a lot of things at stake here. X-Men was the turning point, I believe, in terms of comic book movies, and I think there's a lot to be proud of. And there's certainly questions to be asked, and I think they should be asked. Yeah, we should just ask questions, you know? We should just like, yeah, so you did all these terrible things, allegedly, so we're just gonna ask some questions. This is so stupid. But I guess I don't know how to elegantly answer that. I think it's complex. And ultimately, I look back with pride at what we've achieved and what momentum has that started. Now, of course, it all just kind of depends on exactly what he is talking about. Like, what is complex here? That should have been the follow-up question from the interviewer. But of course, that isn't what he was asked. The interviewer should have asked, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by it's complex? What is complex? Is it that, you know, obviously, you know, these movies were highly successful and you shouldn't really totally tie the artist with the art and all of that type of stuff, because if we did that, then, well, there's a lot of art throughout history that we can look at that we should not be, you know, enjoying or anything like that. So that's obviously a complex issue with it, but it all just kind of depends on what Hugh Jackman is talking about here. I think it's fair to say that, he paused, there are some stories, you know, I think there are some ways of being on set that would not happen now. And I think that things have changed for the better, he added. There's way less tolerance for disrespectful, marginalizing, bullying, and other oppressive behavior. There's zero tolerance for it now, and people will speak out, and I think that's great. But what about the, you know, zero tolerance for all of the horrible things that elites in Hollywood continue to do with, you know, individuals that are basically just become their victims? Singer has faced multiple allegations that he did terrible, awful, disgusting things to very young people. While the filmmaker has denied the accusations, his once red-hot Hollywood career has all but come to an end. The following year, Singer reached a $150,000 settlement with Cesar Sanchez Guzman, who accused the filmmaker of doing terrible things to him when he was underage. It's just a really tough thing to swallow when you see someone who isn't willing to, you know, step outside of their comfort zone and step outside of, you know, thinking about their career and thinking about all of this, especially someone like Hugh Jackman. Like, obviously, I think a lot of it is just that he doesn't want to lose his career or put his career at risk. So he isn't willing to actually say anything that's brave or say anything that is going to be pushing outside of the limits of the narrative in Hollywood. So I think that's probably why he isn't willing to say much about this issue, which obviously is a shame. It's a shame, and we need more people in Hollywood who are willing to stand up and call out the insanity and the terrible things that are continuing to happen there. I don't think that Hugh Jackman is one of these types of people, but the fact is he's not willing to also call it out, and that is also a huge problem. So with all of that being said, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.